This is mitochondria. This is the figure of mitochondria, and mitochondria looks like a cylindrical or rod shape. In mitochondria, we have two layers. One is the outer membrane, which is this one here, outer membrane, and here it is the inner membrane. On the surface of the outer membrane, some shiny granules are present, which are called the Parsons subunit. Here you can see the shiny granules all over spread upon here. Now, in the inner membrane, folds inside the mitochondria and creates finger-like projections. These are called cristae. Here, these are called cristae, and in between the outer membrane and the inner membrane, a space is present. This space is called the outer chamber or the perimitochondrial space. And here inside the inner membrane, another space is present called the inner chamber. The inner chamber is fulfilled by matrix. This matrix is a dense homogeneous colloidal solution. Here the cristae increase the surface area of the cell. An average mitochondria has about an average diameter of 0.5 micrometers, while in length while it has a length of 1 to 4.1 micrometers. Mitochondria are the sites of aerobic respiration, and mitochondria is also called the powerhouse of the cell. Why it is called the powerhouse of the cell, we'll go to that stage later, but before that we must know that here on the surfaces of cristae, some tabletous-like structures are present. These are called F1 particles, or this is also called oxysomes. Here on the outer surface of the outer membrane, some tiny pores are present. These are called porins. So why mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell? Actually, mitochondria, during the process of respiration, it produces and stores ATP, and ATP is the energy richest compound. When ATP splits, it produces energy for the metabolic activities of the cell. So that's why ATP is also called the currency of the cell, or the cellular currency, or it is also the cellular fuel. So that's why, as it produces energy for the metabolic activities of the cell, so mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. So this is a diagram of a centrosome. Centrosome is a star-shaped non-membranous cell organelle. It is made up of three parts: centriole, kinoplasm, centriole. There are 9 number of triplet microtubules form together and make a pip-like structure called centriole. Both centrioles arranged perpendicular to each other, and both they are called diplosome. At the center of the centrosome, a high density of cytoplasm are present, called kinoplasm. At the peripheral region of centrosome, a low density of cytoplasm are present, called centrosphere. From centrosphere, some long thread-like structures are found, called astral ring. It helps in the formation of spindle fiber during cell division. It also helps in cell division.
Today I am going to discuss about the structure of chromosome. There are various parts of chromosome like chromatid, kinetochore, chromonema, chromomere, centromere, primary construction, satellite body, and secondary construction. Today I am discuss these various parts in detail. At first, chromatid. It is also known as arm of the chromosome. And then chromonema. In chromatid, long coil thread-like structure are present which contain DNA and protein. It's called chromonema. When this chromonema condense and form deep black round or oval shaped portion, these are called chromomere. Then primary construction. Chromatid attached by a groove is called primary construction. In primary construction, round or oval shaped portion in construction, a round or oval groove is present, is called centromere. In centromere, 4 plate-like structure are present, is called kinetochore. Then secondary construction. Sometimes, except primary construction, another groove or construction is present, is called secondary construction. After secondary construction, round or oval shaped portion is present, is called satellite body. Then telomere. it is the ending pole of the chromosome which bears special character.
Okay, so this is the fluid mosaic model of cell membrane. This is the most widely accepted model of cell membrane, which was discovered by Singer and Nicholson in 1972. The structure of cell membrane was studied greatly after the advent of electron microscopes in the 1950s. The cell membrane in the fluid mosaic model, it has three layers. It has three layers. First one is the lipid layer. The second one is the intrinsic protein layer, which is this one, intrinsic protein layer, which is inside the boundaries of the lipid layers. And these are greater than the peripheral regions, the peripheral proteins, which is the extrinsic protein layer, which is the third layer. So here, this is the lipid layer. Here you can see in the lipid layer we have, these are polar points, and these are the polar points, and these are the non-polar points. The polar points are hydrophilic in nature. That means they absorb the water, and the non-polar regions are hydrophobic in nature. They just moves away the water. Now here the lipid layer. The lipid layer is nature of the is majorly the phospholipid, and the proteins over them causes a movement of the lipid layer, and this movement is called the flip-flop movement. This movement helps in functions like cell growth, then forming the intercellular junctions, endocytosis, etc., etc. Now let's come. One more point here. Here you can see a chain is forming on the lipid, on the peripheral region of the lipid layer. These are called glycolipids, which are the products of glucose and lipids from the Golgi bodies. And now let's come to the protein part. Here there are two kinds of protein. The first one is intrinsic protein, which is present inside the lipid layer, which are greater in size, and another one is extrinsic protein, which are present in the peripheral region. Actually, the ratio of protein to lipid and lipid to protein just varies in different cell types. In the human beings, the erythrocyte cell membrane has about 52% protein, and here for approximately 40% lipid. All the in and out of materials occurs through the cell membrane. It actually protects and covers the protoplasm of the cell, and the transports are passive transport and active transport. There is here passive transport, when the transport of materials takes place in the concentration gradient without any requirement of energy. This is called passive transport. And when there is a requirement of energy, it is required in some kind of ions or molecules, such as in sodium pump or phosphorus pump, it is required, and this is called active transport. So cell membrane is a very important part for the whole cell, as it protects the whole cell and covers it. And the cell membrane, we must remember one very important point: it is semi-permeable. That is, it don't permeate every material. So there was all in a nutshell about our cell membrane. Thank you.
Today I am going to discuss about the structure of cell wall. The structure of cell wall are made up of three parts: primary cell wall, middle lamella, and secondary cell wall. At first, we discuss about middle lamella. It is the most common part of the adjacent plant cell wall. It is made up of calcium pectate and magnesium pectate. Then primary cell wall. Both sides of the middle lamella, primary cell wall are found, and which are made up of cellulose and hemicellulose. Secondary cell wall. Both sides of the primary cell wall, secondary cell wall are found, which are made up of chitin, hemicellulose, and lignin. Now, what are the functions of cell wall? Cell wall, it is permeable and it helps in the exchange of water and minerals. It is a dead cell which protects plant from pathogen of plant. Then another function of cell wall is uh, it is it is it is a dead cell that help the plant to which give its structure and strength to the plant cell.